Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jan Moses, part of BrothSyndi. I have a very special guest today. He goes by Harry14231, but we'll just call him
Yep,
Harry.
yep.
Harry used to be a mod, actually, technically still is a mod, from back when we used to stream 2K in the 2K 15, 16, and 17 days. Since 2K17, Harry's played some MyTeam. I've really not played any MyTeam, but we are both coming back to the MyTeam scene, at least somewhat, whether it's casually, more than casually, well, that's yet to be determined. But the blog just came out today, and Harry was the one who told me about it. I read it a couple hours ago, and we figured when we're going to talk about it, why not do it in video form so that you guys can kind of see maybe two different perspectives, maybe some things that we agree on, disagree on. So, yeah, Harry, do you want to talk about your history with my team before we get into this?
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually started playing my team in 2K16, I want to say. But, I really didn't I didn't get to really start getting into it and playing, every day to that point until around 2K18, 2K17-ish. But it's crazy. I haven't really played my team for like the full year extent. Probably since like 2K19, 2K20 I played a little bit of my team and Madden. 2K21 I barely played anything. The game for me just hasn't felt the same, and that takes a lot for me to say it because, as Jan knows, I played the entire 2K18 year, and people would even argue that that's like the worst 2K of all time. So it takes a lot for someone like me to finally give up on 2K, something I used to love. But after reading the blog, I am excited to grind 2K this year. I'm really hoping that my team can have a good year.
Yeah, and to be fair, this is not the first time that I've heard from Harry that the blog was really, really good, followed by a very not
I,
exciting product.
I was gonna say I get more excited by the blog every year than when the game comes out. There's something about the blog. It's always a fun time.
That's true. Although I think you can actually argue because, like, even though I've given you a hard time for hyping up the blog, I think the blog actually has a lot of good substance this year. Like, there's some good content in there, I think. Some that I like, some that I don't. But I figure, hey, now without much further ado, we can get right into it. And the first topic on the blog itself is the My Team draft. So I think the way we're gonna do this is I'm gonna ask for Harry's take because while we both played my team for similar amounts of time, Harry's played more my team lately than I have. I feel like he has a better finger on the pulse of like the my team community and maybe some needs that maybe I don't know are needed in the game. Like I'm gonna tell you that I don't think we need contracts anymore, and Harry's gonna agree, hopefully. But there are probably other things that Harry knows about that I don't. So, Harry, you read about the my team draft. What's your hot take?
Okay, I know you did not play 2K18, but
No.
for those that are listening that did, you would know that 2K actually had a draft mode. And I don't want to start off with the negativity, but the draft was not the best mode. It's a mode that 2K, neglected the entire year. I actually don't think they updated it once the entire year.
Wow.
And everything fell flat from only being able to pick 5 players, which now it seems that they updated it or they added new improvements where now you can draft a full team, which I like. Um, I like that they're already telling us there, and also there wasn't really rewards. If I don't remember, I remember the rewards were very bad. So I'm happy that they finally added rewards to this. I don't remember the exact like what it's called, but it's like the card picking thing that used to be on Blacktop in like 2K17, I think. If you
Mm.
remember, where you can, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a reward which I think is cool. I'm listen. Just by previous experience, I am nervous that 2K is going to neglect it. And they said they would update it every Friday, and I'd like to believe them. And it's more so it's like they've said stuff like that before and have not done it. So it's more like a wait and see. I think if 2K does, update it, they add in the new players, I think this has potential to be like the best game mode in my team, which is exciting. It's going to be great for content creators, great for grinders who want to grind to get the best cards in the game, which I think they'll be adding, and it's going to be great for just normal casual fans who want to play my team. Um, the one thing I do not like is that similar to 2K18, you can only pick between 2 cards. So pretty much for every position you pick, they show you 5 different cards, and you can only pick 2 of them. And you have to pick between those 2 players what you want. For me, personally, I don't know how you feel. That doesn't sound like a draft mode. It sounds like a random mode, getting pretty much randomized picks. I don't know. I think it's cool that they're doing a draft, but for me, it doesn't feel as much personalized compared to just being able to pick 2 players compared to the entire 5 cards. And if you really think about it, I don't know how they're going to do it between updating it. Like, are they going to keep like gold players or emerald players who might be good in the beginning, which will not be good at the end? So I don't know how they're going to do it where it's going to be balanced, where you're not just majority getting bad players, and you might get like a diamond or a pink diamond or however they do it. But if they get all those things I'm worried about correct, then I think it's going to be great. And I think, well, I'm happy my team is finally doing this. It's been years of people wanting a draft, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think it was a great visual for them to immediately not update the draft mode, but then to completely can it for, 4 years?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't like they were, they said, oh, you know what, we did bad. Next year we're gonna try again, and the draft will be better. It really seemed like they just gave up. I didn't like that, but I'm glad they're finally bringing it back.
Yeah. So it sounds like from what you're saying, because I was kind of confused about that in the blog. I know that you're gonna have a position pack, you're gonna get that featured pack, and then you get a coach pack. What you're saying is in the position pack, like let's say I pick point guard, you're gonna have 5 point guards, and you can only pick 2 of them.
Yeah, essentially, it's gonna be like they're gonna show you 5 cards, looking you won't be able to see what's in the cards, and you're pretty much gonna be able to pick whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Pick 2 in any order, and those are the 2 players you can pick.
Oh, so you can't see them.
Right, exactly. So it doesn't really feel like a draft, but I don't know. Maybe for all we know, people will complain about that, and maybe 2K will fix it, since this seems to be a mode they really care about this year, and they hope it goes well. So we're just gonna have to see what happens.
I mean, you can just tell because people have been asking for this for a while. I think the fact that they led the blog with it, I think that supports your statement that they're gonna really want to get it right, especially because this is a game mode where if they were to flop twice, this can never come back again. I think that's just not a good look for them. So hopefully they can at least show effort.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to bring Madden into this, but it's something that Madden does so well, and it's such an easy concept. I don't know why 2K can't just copy Madden, or even like the leveling system, which I know you didn't really play 2K21, but it is like, it takes such a long grind, because it's not like in Madden where you can pretty much pick whatever game you want and get XP doing that. They give you selective things to do, like challenges with very small XP amounts. So it takes you can't just grind to the 150K to get that pink diamond Carmelo in like a couple weeks. You can grind it the entire 6 weeks and not get it. It's such a hard grind. But it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't know why they can't just copy Madden, something that most people like in the community.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you, and I mean, a big reason I think why I'm also coming to MyTeam again this year, besides the fact that it's been 5 years since I've really played a MyTeam game mode somewhat, seriously, is the fact that Madden, I also feel like since Madden 18 has kind of declined in the reward department, the gameplay's also not been as good, but they have done a great job with the draft, like Mutt Draft, Fut Draft, two very good draft modes, and, but I'm hopeful that at least with the MyTeam draft, that we'll at least have a fun time playing it. The one thing that I do like, which I don't know what happened, by the way, my echo just got a little louder. I don't know if you moved the mic or anything on your end.
No, I did not.
That's weird. Anyways, the thing that I like about the draft potentially, the MyTeam draft, is that there may not be any contracts involved, right?
Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, in 2K18 there were no contracts.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
So depending on the reward system, if you can get MT and contracts from playing this kind of alleviates my concern of there are going to be contracts in this game mode. I know there are going to be contracts. If there were no contracts, they would have let off with that. I think because everyone wants them.
Yeah, I mean, no, even in the level rewards, I'm pretty sure I saw a diamond contract. So they're in the game, which I don't know. I don't get why they're not in the game. I don't get why they're not in the game. And for me, I also find it a little bit stingy that if you saw they're taking out bronze players and silver players,
I did. Yeah,
and
we're gonna get to that.
they're
Don't you
starting out
worry.
at gold. The way I see it is now we need to spend more MT for contracts compared to the contracts we'd be spending on, or the MT we'd be spending on contracts for those low tier players.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, if they don't adjust the price you have to pay MT-wise for contracts on gold players, it's going to be pretty bad. It's like, I don't know if inflation's the right word, but it's not going to be cheap for us. So,
Right.
but I do like, going back to the draft, I do still like that this is in the game. I do feel like this could be a nice way to, maybe it's not a lot of MT, you can still farm MT and, get hopefully decent rewards. And there still is a competitive aspect to it where it's going to be online. So I'm looking forward to it. I like that featured pack idea. If they do it right, kind of like how a MUT draft, they'd update it once in a while, and you'd have like most feared Aaron Donald is in there the week after Halloween, or MUT Harvest Odell Beckham Jr. is in your packs the first week of December, and it's like a quick update where like they're immediately added to the game. I would love to see that in my team.
Yeah, and to add one more thing, I forget who the player is. If you have the blog up right now, you
I
can
do.
probably find out. But I like that I forget who the pink diamond is, but I like that the draft has like a unique player that you can only get by playing the draft, which I
Yeah.
think is great for just having a point to play instead of just playing any other game mode for a reward.
Yeah, and I honestly wouldn't be shocked. So the reward is Pink Diamond Glenn Robinson, and he's the same position as Mello, I think. So he actually may be like a nice budget version of Mello, even though he'll also be a Pink Diamond.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, like I said, this sounds like a really fun mode. I just hope that, like you said, that it lives up to the hype. And I kind of feel like this will hit, at least to an extent, because it has to hit. They can't flop on this again.
I agree. And I wanted to say one more thing. I find
Sure.
it funny how it's like normally it's like you said, any year we talk about the blog, I'm always so excited. I'm so enthusiastic about the new stuff, but like as you can tell, I'm a bit more just like I've experienced a lot of this before. It's been
Yeah.
years of 2K over-promising and under-delivering. So,
Yeah,
this
I mean,
is like
what you sound like, Harry, you sound like someone who's gone through like years of heartbreak, where like you have all these
Yeah.
high hopes, and then you've been
Yeah.
let down so many times, where it's like now your heart's kind of like hardened, and it's like, well, it's gonna take a lot for you to get in now. You have to really, really wow me. So yeah, I can already tell, talking to you now versus like back in 2K18, the blind optimism is not there as much. Now you're like kind of reserving some judgment for when the game mode actually comes out, which is the way to do it. I think if anything, I'm closer to 2K18 Harry than you are, because
Yeah, you
in my
are.
mind I'm like,
But,
hey,
like-
this is my first MyTeam in 5 years.
Yeah, but it's like I said it before. I'm not being full negative. I'm not saying, oh, it's it's gonna be terrible. I'm saying, listen, I'll let them show me. I'm excited that they're adding a draft. I think that's awesome, no matter what. So, like I said, we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, draft seems like a W, at least on paper. We'll have to see what it looks like once it's actually out there. The triple threat online, the 100, is pretty interesting to me because I'm a big defense guy, but there's some things I don't like about it. So Harry, I'm gonna turn the floor over to you. What's your take on triple threat online, the 100?
Listen, this game mode is a train wreck. Okay, this is. This is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard in my life. Because, listen, first of all, like, so they have the 100 thing where pretty much, if you don't know, any time or every loss you take, the amount of points you lost by is subtracted by the initial 100.
Yeah.
And I think you need to win 10 games or it's something like that. So it's like you can win like 5 games and go undefeated and still reset and not win any high rewards because of how many points you lost by. And it's like triple threat is a very basic game. This isn't like unlimited where if it takes skill you can win by like 20-30 points. Odds are you're not going to get that many blowouts in a triple threat game, even if you're playing the best player, because obviously you'll get lucky. You'll get open for threes because it's only 3 players. You can't guard everyone on the court. So I like the idea. I like that they're. I'm not that I like the idea. I like that they're like adding something new to an already not stale, but already it's been the same thing for years. So I think if anything, they should make it a little bit higher than 100, maybe 120, 130. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess we'll see in the first week or two, like how long it takes. Because it honestly, for me, it seems really hard. I don't even know how top tier people are gonna, go like get all these blowout wins.
Yeah, I mean, so the one thing that I was talking to Deuces about, and he's going to be uploading a video to his channel with him and I going through the entire blog sentence by sentence, basically. But the thing that I am kind of intrigued by is what are they going to do in terms of defensive settings for Triple Threat Online? Do we finally get the option to modify our defense somehow in the settings? Because I think from what I remember from playing Blacktop and a little Triple Threat Online and offline over the last few years, here and there very casually, pick and roll defense is awful, like terrible.
Yep.
And if people just spam that, I don't know, it's gonna be so tough to defend that. And like you said, limit the points. They do say somewhere in the blog that even if you were to lose all the games, every player should be able to get onto the second tier of prizes, which makes me feel like maybe it's not going to be too bad. I want to see what the rewards are going to be.
That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure they show you maybe like a millisecond view of it in the trailer, and the rewards did not look great. I'm pretty sure for like the top tier reward, I saw like a 1,000 MT thing. So I can't imagine how like non-exciting the second tier rewards are going to be. Because honestly, now that I'm really thinking about it, if I'm wrong and the rewards are actually good, maybe it is a cool way to make it even harder and to make it so not everyone can get the top tier rewards in Triple Threat. But we're gonna have to see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if they find a way to like punish off-ballers too in Triple Threat offline or online, I think this could be interesting. But like you said, it all comes down to the rewards. If the top board has a reward of 1K and that's like their top cream of the crop reward, I am not going to touch this game mode with like a 10-foot pole.
Well, no, I see. It'll be 1,000. I'm pretty sure they'll also put like a player in it that will only be accessible in Triple Threat. But it's like if it's like 2K21, that top tier player reward is going to be very hard to find. It's going to be a rare card to see as a reward in Triple Threat. But I don't know if maybe the odds are different. Maybe they improved it. It's another one of those we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing else to really add to the Triple Threat Online. I mean, it sounds kind of cool. To your point, it's nice that they're adding something new, but I'm not totally sure how I feel about that. I'm much more excited about the draft.
And I'll also say, sorry to cut you off.
No,
Triple Threat is probably one of my most played game modes in MyTeam. I think we've talked about this. Triple Threat for me is a fun game. You can like chill, play it. It's nothing serious. You don't need to like sweat your life out playing unlimited or limited. So I guess in a positive sense, I am happy that they made it a little bit more harder. So now it's not something where you can just effortlessly play for whatever amount of time. Now you have to try. You got to win. Another cool thing I forgot to mention was a lot of times when you're playing someone, you might be up by a certain amount of. Maybe you'll be up like 6-0 or something, and they'll quit.
Yeah.
Because they'll just why not play a new game? Who cares if I take the loss? Now there's a reason, because I'm guessing if you quit, you lose 21 points like right there and then.
Yeah.
So I think it's another reason for people to remain in the game, which is a cool feature.
Definitely. And if people still want to quit, then that's even better. You'll allow even less points.
Right.
Which is amazing. I mean, I do think it's going to be very interesting. I also think Deuces or someone else told me that you're going to be able to play with friends now in Triple Threat, which I think is pretty cool.
Yes, that's going to be exciting. I think the wagers in Triple Threat are going to be cool.
I didn't even think about that. I was going to just say, because I'm a much bigger fan of 5v5 than 3v3 gameplay, but I think it will be fun if the Triple Threat Online 100 is a game mode that's worth playing. There are going to be times where I'm going to buy players and hit you up, Harry, and be like, hey, I want to try out, I don't know, Amethyst Kevin Durant, see if his release is good. Because I do think that there are players that are better for Triple Threat than maybe for 5v5. Like in 5v5, I may rather have a guy like a Klay Thompson who's not a good ISO player but can spot up, shoot, and play good defense. Whereas like Klay, unless he's wide open in the corner and I drive and dish to him, he's not going to have as much value as a guy like KD who has like a nasty snatch back and you can pull up. So I would rather have KD, I think. Right. I mean, in a 5v5 also, but in Triple Threat is where he can also really excel. So maybe I want to try out his release and not have to waste a contract on him because he's an Amethyst. So
yeah, for another example would be like, I know you're big into using big players like Shaq, Kareem, all those players. It's like they might not be good in a 3-on-3 game where it's more fast-paced, quick threes and stuff like that. So I do agree that it is cool that they added more of a It's more of a like you're not going to want to go right ahead into Triple Threat Online and experiment. Like you said, you're going to want to play with some friends and do that kind of stuff, which
Correct.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Great. So that was the Triple Threat Online, the 100. Next up, this is pretty basic. I don't know if there's much you want to touch on, but the pickup and skills challenges. I guess my first question for you is going to be, what are your thoughts on the pickup challenges? Because this just sounds like a daily thing. And then, I mean, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about in the skill, because the skills just sound like the usual stuff.
Yeah, sorry for cutting you off. There's
No,
actually a
okay.
few things I really love about these
Okay. Shoot,
not
go for it.
not the game mode itself, but the updates to offline challenges. For starters, let's say the challenge stipulation is you got to score 10 threes with Klay Thompson. Now, like in previous 2Ks where you might, it's such an easy benchmark, maybe you do that in the first quarter. And now you're stuck playing the entire game. Now, which is really cool, they added a thing where as soon as you hit those 10 threes, you're done. Similar
Yeah.
to Madden, which I love. I like that you can now restart games. It's
Yeah.
just another easy thing instead of having to quit, go back in the game. So
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I
Now,
wonder how
question
that's
for
going to
you.
relate.
Question
What?
for you with the restart, because I saw that and I immediately, like you, thought of Madden, where like you get to, if you meet your objectives, if you get your 80-yard touchdown early, the game ends, which is amazing, just like
Yep.
it happens
Yep.
here. But my question for you is, do you think with the restart challenge, if let's say you're playing a challenge where you have to beat this team by like X amount of points, and you know you're not going to hit that benchmark, you hit restart challenge, do you think it's going to make you take, or is it going to eat another set of contracts from your players?
It's funny you said that. You read my mind. Those words were on the tip of my tongue. I don't know. It would be really cool if you don't lose contacts. But yeah, I guess we're gonna see. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting to me. Like, if you try to restart a challenge and your player's out of contracts and you don't have MT and you're out of contract cards, do they just boot you out of the solo?
Yeah, or what if you're using a free agent card that you're on their last game in that game? If you press
Ooh,
restart, will you able to play that game again with that free agent card?
that's a
So there's a
very
lot
good
of
question.
cool what ifs.
Yeah, but it's a cool thing. Like, it's kind of a good problem to have where, like, if we have to use the contracts, it's my team. I'm used to spending contracts. If anything, it cuts you time from sitting the loading screen, I guess. But yeah, anyways, continue. I just wanted to ask you that question before we got off that
Yeah,
topic.
yeah. I also like that they have said in the blog, there will be daily things to do in my team with these
Mm-hmm.
pickup challenges, which is awesome. You know that so it won't be maybe you go on my team and you're playing the same stuff, whether it's Domination, Triple Threat Online, or whatever. At least now you have cool challenges, probably short ones to look forward to maybe get some XP, maybe get more MT. Just I don't know how the rewards are going to be, but it's pretty cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, I like that too because they already kind of had a daily feature. I know they have the daily login. Like, if you come in every day, they give you something, and then if you do it for 7 days in a row, you get a spin on the wheel. Um, this is just kind of nice because this reminds me kind of how, even though it wasn't great, Mutt gave us those daily quick sells. Maybe if this is something like that, where like you log in, you play a game, you get some sort of good reward, then maybe even better than a quick sell.
Yeah, yeah. They like you said, 2K does the spin the wheel thing. I'm not sure how that's going to be this year. I don't think they made a comment about it, but I assume it's in the game. And yeah, I guess we'll find out when the game launches what the rewards are.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else that I wanted to ask you about this. You basically touched on the two things that I care the most about, which is the challenges ending soon if you hit your 9 threes with your player or something like that, or restarting your challenge if you know you're not going to meet the requirements. The other thing that I kind of like, but they touch on it later, is the event cards for the Diamond Luka Doncic. I think that's kind of cool, potentially depending on how they use it, but they touch on it later, so I'm going to touch on that later as well. The nice thing that they talk about are the event cards. I'm going to let you just handle this because I'm not super familiar with what this is, so if you have any thoughts, please do it.
Yeah, I was actually going to refer it back to you. This is a new concept in 2K, and if I remember correctly, they did not really elaborate on this, what this will be. But regardless, it does seem kind of cool that they're adding some sort of new cards for doing events where, like I said, it's personalized to that one specific game mode. So whatever it is, I'm happy that they're allowing for more people to grind and get different rewards.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one thing that this kind of reminded me of just based off reading it. I don't know if you remember this too much from Madden, but they would have house rules once every 1 or 2 weeks.
Yep, yep.
Like they would have college overtime rules, which was amazing. And if they're doing that kind of thing and like integrating into different game modes in my team, I think that's going to be very, very exciting. So yeah, I guess that's all I really want to mention there. The one thing that I do like is they talk about playing and winning in different game modes, applying consumable cards to players in your collection, defeating the solo with all the cover athletes. Those are ways that you can get these collectibles to get Luca. I think if they do it right, it's a really good way to introduce your audience, to introduce your consumers to different game modes, different aspects of the game, get them to engage with it, and to reward them by giving them these collectibles they need for Diamond Luca. So I
Yeah,
really
I
like
really
that.
like that, especially because it's like you would know after playing full games on 2K against the CPU, it can get a little boring.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're making the grind a bit easier for it's like now we can just hop on Triple Threat and just play a quick game to 21 or like something like that. So I do agree. I like that.
Yeah. Also, one other thing I want to talk about real quick, going back to the pickup and skill challenges, I forgot there were 3 things that I liked. We touched on 2 of them. The other one that I really like is they mentioned that you can do challenges out of order. And the reason why I really like this is because it kind of goes hand in hand with having contracts. If I have a 10-string solo and like the final reward is I get Pink Diamond Dennis Rodman. I really want Pink Diamond Dennis Rodman, and I also like the reward at 7 at the whatever the 7th solo gives you 10 tokens, and then the 9th solo gives me 20,000 MT. What if those are the only 3 challenges I want to play? I don't want to submit 13 of my players through 10 games just to play really solo 7, 9, and 10. You can play solos or these challenges out of order, so I can just play 7, 9, and 10, and I don't have to play solos 1 through 6 and number 8 and get the rewards I want. I think that is super appealing if that's how they do it, which is what they're saying in the blog, which I know I'm putting a lot of faith into the blog. But if I don't have to play every single solo, like if I want to play Challenge 7 right now in 2K21, I have to play numbers 1 through 6. I remember when I was doing the solos for like Larry Bird and Steph Curry for fun in 2K20 because I was just messing around and I was bored. I had to play all 50 for Larry and all 30 for Steph or whatever it was. But if I wasn't grinding for Steph and Larry, if I was just grinding for the player items, if I can just skip all those solos and just do the last one, that's amazing.
No, I agree. It's kind of like that in 2K21. I think they did it in 2K22 where they have spotlight challenges for specific, probably like at this point, like Dark Matter or Galaxy Opal players,
Yeah.
and they're a very different card. So in 2K21 and 2K20, they allow you to actually pick which set in order and in any order which challenge you want to get that specific card. Like, let's say there's a pink diamond Curry and a pink diamond like Larry Bird, and let's say
Yeah.
you already have a small forward, you don't need the Larry Bird. So all right, you don't need to play it. You can play for the point guard and get Curry on your team. So I do
Yeah.
think that's a great additional bonus to my
Yeah.
team.
It's fantastic. So I just wanted to quickly go back to that. So we already covered the event cards. I don't know if we really want to talk about the 250K tournament. I am not interested at all. It just seems like they're just flexing how much money they're going to throw at people.
Yeah, not really. I do like that it's on both current gen and next gen because I'm pretty sure in 2K21 it was only on current gen, so it was forcing people who already bought the PS5 or whatever, the new Xbox, to have to go back to current gen to practice and grind it to try to get better, and to play the actual tournament. So I'm probably not going to play it this year, but I think it's great that you can play it on whatever console, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very well said. This next topic, I don't want to say passionate about, but I really am interested in. I feel like it's going to be super polarizing. The holographic player cards. If you guys don't know, what's basically going to be happening is they're going to basically have holographic versions of certain cards in the game, and they're not going to have different attributes or badges or anything. The only difference is going to be the card art is going to be a little shinier, essentially. And I wanted to know what your thoughts are on the holo cards, Harry, before I share mine. So the floor is yours.
I'd have to read this again in the blog. I don't remember. I might have skimmed over this part, but if it's going by what you said, I think that's cool. I like that. It makes especially with the card art, which I think is such a big feature in 2K. So I think it's cool that maybe you can have a Steph Curry with a different, card design that might look a little bit better than the typical base card Curry. I don't know if that's along the same lines as what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I'm up for that.
I mean, I think it's pretty similar. Like, I know in 2K21 they had like comic book art versions of certain player items and then regular
Oh, okay,
versions.
okay, okay.
So it's like the same concept, but it's a little different. So the reason why I love this is because when I was younger, I was that nerdy kid that loved to play with, I mean, a little bit with Pokemon cards, but also like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I loved pulling the holographic cards out of the packs. Like those are the cards that obviously stood out. Anyone who opens packs, that's like what you're looking forward to opening. That's like the thing. What holographic card are you going to get? And if you get a good one, it's like, wow, I got this card and I packed it and it's probably worth a lot, but it means more to me. So it's like, it's really, really cool. Like on a collector level, it kind of helps personalize the items. And I do like that, you know, you have the original owner stamp from last year. Now you carry that over to this year. So for me, it's like if I pack, let's say there's a holographic Amethyst Kevin Durant, and I look at his price on the auction house. I'm like, well, you know, his regular selling for 50K, holographics maybe like 70K. I think I'd rather just keep him. I have like an emotional attachment to the players that I pack myself, so maybe I just keep him and I go online with him, and then my opponent sees, oh, he's got a amethyst holographic Kevin Durant with the original owner stamp. That's pretty badass. Like I like that. So it makes the pack pulling, I guess, a little more personable. And you know, for the people that like to card collect, I think it does add something extra to it. The one concern I have is in that section they talk about how certain agendas are going to require you to have holographic cards, and I really hope they don't make those agendas happen that frequently, because that is kind of like a pay to win kind of thing, where it's like you have to have the holo card if you want to do this, you know?
Yeah, I think that is pretty cool. And one thing you said that I didn't even think about was how, having these cool designs, it's like you're going to be forming attachments with these cards. It's like maybe if you use a card and you're starting to get bored of him, you might want to replace him. At that point, you might be even nervous about putting him on the auction house because it might be a rare design, and maybe you're not ready to, it's like you said, it's like you're going to eventually really like those cards, and it won't feel the same having just like that normal base card player design.
Yeah, exactly. So it adds something cool, and it's something that I'm gonna look forward to. I think people that are gonna rip packs, it's gonna make pack openings a little more cool, I guess, potentially. Um, so I really like the holo card aspect. It's like a very, very simple change that I think could go a really long way. Because if you treat my team kind of the way I do, which is like, yeah, I'm building my dream team, but it is still a card collecting game mode. If you like to card collect, you know holo cards are always the cool cards that you want to pack. So something really cool. I know like in Madden, I think Madden 19 or 20, probably 19, they had for the Easter promo, they had like holo cards that were basically like the platinum quick sells for the Easter promo. So like you could pull like a Juju Smith-Schuster, and you can get his regular card, but if you get his Easter holo card, you can quick sell that for like something crazy. And that was kind of cool, because now instead of quick selling the cards, you can kind of define the value yourself. So I don't know. The thing that is a little less interesting to me, a little more wonky, is this MyTeam authentic card grading service.
Yep,
Which I
yep.
think
This
is
is the
very
most
dumb.
vague thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yes,
I don't
go ahead, Harry. Do it.
I would love to know what qualifies you to be a professional. I think it says professional grader or something like that. I don't know how that, or an expert. It says an expert. You're an expert at grading cards. It I don't know. It really just seems like a very, I don't know who thought of this idea and what the purpose is. I don't know.
Yeah,
I honestly have no.
this really feels
I don't
like
know.
this really feels like they took the excitement that I had seeing, oh, they're putting holo cards in the game, and then they're like,
Yeah.
okay, let's really try and make this realistic. Like, it's a virtual card game that you're like taking these player items and you're turning them into like, NBA players that you can play with in like a 5v5 basketball setting. Like, this isn't just a card collecting game mode. Like, these are actually player items
Yeah.
that you can use.
And it's like,
yeah.
let's say we have Pink Diamond Curry or whatever, and we have like the same badges, same sneakers, same whatever, and you get graded, and then I see that you got a grade, so then I'm thinking like, why would I want to do it if I already know the grade you're gonna get on it? I feel like it's not a very unique thing. Like, I feel like most people are gonna have the same grades. I do think it's a cool, like, it looks like a pretty interesting design on the card. I like that the grade is like front and center on top of the logo.
Yeah.
But besides that aspect, I don't know. It's one of those things where we're gonna have to see what they do. I don't know. For all we know, it might be cool. I think the design is cool, but I'm struggling to find the purpose.
So
if
I'll
you know what I'm
tell you,
saying.
I was trying to think earlier, how could they differentiate? Like if you and I both pull this Amethyst Kevin Durant that I'm just like throwing out there, how are they going to differentiate between yours and mine? Well, there are a couple of ways. One of the obvious is a holographic, and if it's not holographic, which it probably won't be, the only other thing I can think of is if you pull one of the earlier ones. Like if I pull Amethyst Kevin Durant and I'm like maybe in the top 100 people to like pull him, like in terms of like how quickly I pulled an Amethyst Kevin Durant, I submit him. Maybe that will kind of contribute to his grade because then he's like rare, I guess. And then maybe if you pull one like a couple days later, maybe your grade will be docked for that because you didn't pull one as early. So in that way, it kind of prioritizes the people that are spending money and ripping packs on day one, I guess. But like you said, like I don't really see what like besides a card being hollow or common, there really is no way to really differentiate. Like my KD is not going to be more valuable than your KD. Besides the fact that
Right,
like if
right.
I pull mine on Friday when the game comes out and you pull yours on Sunday, I can probably sell mine for more because I pulled him earlier and I posted him earlier. But besides that, I mean, you know, it doesn't really matter all that much. So.
Yeah, I honestly, now that I'm really thinking about this, I think this might be catered towards like the younger people, maybe kids who are playing this game, and they might think it's exciting that their card is getting graded by 2K. But at least for me, someone who's played my team for years, someone who's a little bit older, for me, I don't know, I don't really care, I guess. I
Yeah.
wish I could phrase it in a better way, but like you said, I'm playing my team to build my best team, to build my best fantasy team. For me, just having the ability where 2K can grade my cards and have an opinion on how I'm, whatever with my cards, for me, it's not for me, I guess. Maybe
Yeah,
it's for other
absolutely.
people. I don't know.
The only thing I will say that's interesting is you get bonus my team points per game depending on how they rank your player items. So I think
Oh,
it
do you?
doesn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
you do. So, but then again, it's like, well, it's pretty subjective. How are you gonna grade these players? I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to me. I want to see, and like you said to your point, you'll be able to see these players that are graded on the auction house, and they'll show up front and center what their grade is. You know, are they mint? Are they nearly mint? Are they good? Very good? Whatever. Um, Moving on from that, though, I think the MT Shoe Lab is amazing. I think
I do too.
potentially
I do
it could
too.
be great. So go ahead, Harry. What do you have to say about the MT Shoe Lab?
Yeah, I don't have much to really speak on this, but I will say that at least for me, and I think for most people I can speak on, shoes have become a very just I guess not underappreciated, I want to say, but it's become such a normal thing in the game where people overlook it sometimes. Like for me, I don't even really put sneakers on players. If I pull a diamond sneaker in a pack and it's like a 3.1, yeah, I'll put it on my player or I'll sell it on the auction house. But for me, it doesn't really seem very personalized, and I know that and I'm sure it was like this in 2K17 when you were playing. It's always been a major pain to find them in the auction house. The settings are like because you look it up by the brand rather than the shoe name, which there's a
Correct.
lot of shoes. I don't expect them to go all out, but it's an annoying process, and it's honestly it's better off to just not put any sneakers on it. But at least now, the fact that it's like I said, it's become a more personalized thing. You can make your own sneaker. It's just another cool feature you can add to the game to make it feel more like it's your team instead of just another card on your team that anyone can get.
Absolutely. I think that's incredibly well said. I like that it's so customizable. It seems very flexible. You're going to have the four different shoe colorways with bronze, silver, gold, and diamond. And I mean, they make a very good point. You're going to go from having a few dozen shoes that are diamond in, my 2K21, and now you're going to have well over 500. Like the possibilities
Yep.
are
Yep.
kind of endless in that way. Like you can customize it whatever way you want, and it's going to make sniping potentially more cool because I'm assuming you can pack these boosts, and maybe even these colorways, which means those are going to go into the auction house and you can snipe them. Like that was one of the big reasons why, even though I didn't play 2K21 that much at all, the badges coming back, I think, is great for the people that like to snipe because when packs come out, that's another revenue stream where you can target. I don't know what the badges are nowadays. Like back in the day, we used to target like Limitless Range,
Oh,
Deadeye,
it is
stuff
it
like
is
that.
so different, my friend. There are
I
so many
know.
different types.
Yes, that I saw. The badges, I think, are a story for a different day because there are like a
Yeah, yeah.
million now. But, point being is I think at some point we'll know what the main badges are that you're going to want to prioritize on your players. And those are going to be the ones that you're going to target in the auction house if you can. We'll see.
Also,
But
sorry
yes,
to add one more thing about the
sure.
sneakers. I also think it's really awesome that you can actually pick on your own what specific boost you want to give to your player. For example, like let's say you pull someone like, like Kobe, like when he first started in the NBA, who his stats aren't going to be amazing, but they're going to be decent all around. For all I know, someone might want to put a three-point shooting because he won't have the best shooting, maybe like 79 in the low 80s, which can boost it up. Or someone might want to see Kobe.
I think your mic died, Harry. Harry's controller may have just died. This is quite unfortunate. But yes, so while he's gone,
Hello?
yes, now
Hello?
you're back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
My remote died. Very unprofessional. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. This will be Harry's last time on the BrothSyndi
Yeah.
podcast. You were talking
But
about
yeah,
Kobe.
back to my point. So maybe you want to put a three-point sneaker on it. Maybe you decide you'd rather see more of a flashy side of Kobe. So I think it's cool. Like another way to just, like I said, I keep saying, personalize your cards, make them unique to you, and not even unique to you, but based on how what your play style is. Yeah, I think you're going to be more interested in picking the specific boost that might not be seen the best to others on the auction house, but that'll that'll help you play with the card to your standards.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. I was gonna say I was trying to find it on 2K. I cannot seem to find. I'm on 2K21 right now. But I think that there is a weekly challenge that I may have already completed, the 2K22 Cover Athlete Challenge, and if you do that, you get 18 cards in a pack that'll have 3 diamond shoe colorways, 15, and then the 15 shoe boost cards, which is pretty cool. So you can basically customize 3 diamond shoes right off the bat if you did it. I don't know if I did it because I'm going to weekly challenges and it's not there. But
Wait,
it's, you know,
hold on. You got 2K21?
yeah, I
I
mean,
had no idea. Wow.
yes, I got it, but I only got it really to play my league, and then I have
Okay.
a hard time
When did you
playing
get it?
my
How long
league.
ago?
Maybe like a month ago,
Oh,
but
okay,
I
okay.
barely played it. Like, I mean, like I have only played Triple Threat offline a little bit and played my league. It's been really tough for me because like in previous 2Ks, it was so much fun to like go into my league and then just like trade everybody. But now I actually like the roster, so I can't trade anybody. So I just like it sucks. I hate it. So, anyways, moving on from that, because I know we're getting close to like an hour, and that's how long I can record for in one sitting. The MyTeam starters and options packs, the starters that you can pick from are Tatum, Jokic, Young, Zion, and Donovan Mitchell. But what they do mention that's pretty cool is that you can get all of them by evoing them. We don't know what the Evo requirements are, but yeah, Harry, what are your thoughts on the MyTeam starters and the option packs?
I think they're cool. I think in the last couple of years, 2K has been blessing us with really good starting packs, especially people who used to be in their prime who are not currently playing, like along the lines of Wade and I could be wrong. I think Larry Bird was one of them this year.
Yep.
Trace McGrady was one in 2K20. So all these great cards. It's a little bit weird going to current players, but I still think it's cool. I'm personally gonna pick that Trey Young. I think he'll be a great person to have in the beginning of the year,
Mm-hmm.
especially when shooting might not be the greatest asset of all players, and especially when you evo him up to what I would assume to be a Ruby maybe or Amethyst. I think he's gonna be awesome to have, especially in domination and all those kind of game modes.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think depending on the Evos, also, I think it's pretty cool that you can get all of them if you really wanted to. The one thing that I don't really understand, and maybe they'll elaborate on it further, why would I want to grind for Emerald Phil Jackson? Because I feel like it'll be pretty easy to get higher tier coaches, personally.
No idea.
Um,
And I'll also say, I don't know if 2K will go down the same route, but I'm assuming that the best cards in the game at the beginning will be Amethyst, like Curry,
yes.
KD, Harden, whatever. So for me, it's like, especially because I'm sure Rubies will be in the game as well. I don't know how well an Evo card will hold up. I remember, like, normally, typically, at least this year and the year before, the Evo cards were not that great compared to even the cards day one. So I really hope that they can actually be. It would be really cool if you can turn them into like amethysts or diamonds, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Um, I do think that it's pretty cool, though. I like that you have the option to potentially get all 5 of the players if you really want them, because I know in years past there have been, even like in 2K21, I was not invested at all, but it was like between Melo and Shaq, and I just went with Shaq for fun, and then I was like, man, I kind of want a Melo. Now I have the option to go, grind for, if I want Tatum, but I start with Trae Young, like Harry says, then I can, Evo Trae Young, and I can go get Jason Tatum. So it's pretty cool. We'll have to see how sustainable that is going to be, because like you said, Harry, with Amis probably being the highest tier for the current set of cards when they come out on day one, I don't know how much of a drive I'm going to have to Evo up 5 Emerald cards. The next is the MyTeam base set. You kind of touched on them getting rid of bronze and silver players. I think they also talk about how the current set is going to include some historic players. Like in that screenshot, you see Yao Ming, Kobe's in there. I see Danny Ferry in there, Scottie Pippen, Daryl Griffith. So what are your thoughts on the base set?
Okay, I actually am pretty passionate about this section. I will say one thing that 2K does not do anymore, which I'm pretty sure the last year they did this was 2K18 maybe, 2K17, was starting the game out with Sapphires. If you remember 2K17, there was Sapphire Curry, Sapphire LeBron, Sapphire Westbrook maybe, but cards like that, and I love it. I love when you can start out my team with decent cards. They don't have to be amethysts, don't have to be diamonds. They can just be alright cards, and you can play the beginning of the year with these base cards. One, because it's fun. No card is OP. It's almost like play with friends or play now online.
Yeah.
But when you get the better cards, it makes you feel more appreciative, and it makes you feel more excited to get these better cards. And I don't really like that, to get off topic, that they're already letting you grind for pink diamonds. It's not, the game is just coming out and you can grind for pink diamonds, which I don't really like. And I'm pretty sure that they're starting the year off with Amethyst, Curry, LeBron, KD, whatever. So I don't know what the point is of making these cool retro gold cards, which would be an awesome idea if all the other cards were starting out like that, but they're not. So it's like, why would I want to use a gold Yao Ming or a gold Kobe or something when I can use an Amethyst Curry or KD? So I think if they were going to go the opposite route and make it so all cards are maybe maxed at like an 86, 87, yeah, this is awesome. But if they're not going to do that, I don't see the point. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
No, I mean, I definitely do. I mean, I know that in 2K21 they have, God knows, like, what, 5+ Galaxy Opal LeBrons?
Yep.
Or Dark Matter LeBrons,
exactly.
or whatever the highest tier is. Like, I think that's kind of ridiculous. Because, like you said, maybe it's a fun thing to grind for at the beginning of the game. Like, oh, I got to grind for Pink Diamond Mellow. But then it's like by the end of the year, you're, like, basically changing a couple stats, like a couple of +1s, +2s, +3s here and there, and then you're giving us a new Giannis or a new LeBron. Like, what's the point of that? Like, I think
for me personally, I think this is another money-hungry tactic by 2K. So we spend more money day one to get these good cards, but I think it does ruin the game, and it also shortens the trying to think of the correct word. It shortens the lifespan of 2K, because we're already getting pink diamonds. I don't like that. I'm sure other people do, but like if you even remember in 2K16, when again we were all used to using decent cards, they ended up releasing a Diamond Curry, which would break the game, they would say, because of how good that Curry was. He was the first diamond on the auction house, and people, you know what they did? They spent money on the game. They spent tons of money on the game because they wanted that card because it was so unique compared to the other low-valued cards. So for me, I think it would be the same thing if they were to do that, but they want more people to spend money day one.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm going to try and move along a little bit more quickly, just because I'm not sure if I think like at 9:30 it's going to be about an hour, and we're at 9:19. But we're almost done. So we have the dynamic duos are going to have 45. We'll see what that's going to look like. I never hold my breath when it comes to dynamic duos. They're never game changers, I feel like. The next thing is team customization. The main thing for me in this, and you can tell me if there's anything that you like about it, in particular, Harry, I like that you can now customize an arena and a court. Like I could have the Knicks, like I could have MSG, but then I can put like the Warriors court inside, for example, or like the Miami Heat court. If I like their Vice City court, if that's an option, I can put that at MSG and make that my custom court. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have much to say. I will say though, I remember in 2K16, I did recreate your entire court design because I loved your color schemes. So all I'm gonna say is I'm looking forward to how you design your court because I
Yeah.
might just copy it again.
Hey, why not? I mean, look, it's been 5 years, so we're
I
left to
remember
see.
it now. You had the light blue and the white. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
it was, I mean,
beautiful.
I have to work with Shiz on that, see if we can bring it back better than ever. Because our logo on the tweeter is a little different right now. They then talk about collector levels. Again, this is something
I
that
think
I
that's
just want to
awesome.
see it.
I don't really collect cards to be honest, but I think it's such a great just presence to have in my team. There's a point to keeping old cards you don't need. I remember you were kind of big into that. I could be wrong.
No, it's cool because this is the card collecting aspect of the game.
Yeah, that aspect was not in 2K21. I don't know if it was in 2K20. I don't remember. But I also think the Pink Diamond Dirk reward Galaxy Opal Dirk, Dark Matter Dirk. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think having a Dirk reward is kind of cool. So yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I love it too. I think it's going to be very exciting. I don't know if we really want to talk about the community logos.
Not really, but I mean, I'll say one thing. I think it's cool that 2K is giving, is going to be recognizing MyTeam streamers because I think MyTeam YouTubers and streamers are always underlooked besides obviously the big ones.
Yeah.
Who don't even really stream or post on YouTube as consistently. So I think it's an awesome way to to just recognize the people who might not be as well known in the community.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's awesome. I mean, anything to put these guys, on the map, especially because I feel like my team as a game mode has become increasingly more popular, and I feel like, maybe nowadays a streamer like Merc, if he was still streaming, I don't know if he'd be as big, even though, his content was mainly because of calling nines and stuff like that. But I feel like there's so many my team content creators that it's so difficult to stand out nowadays. So it's a nice way to, reward those guys that are putting in the work and the community showing them love. I think that's great. The last topic here is season one. Call to ball. The main thing that I'll touch on here, then I'll throw it to you, Harry, is the rewards. You have apparently you get a free agent Kobe. That's a free agent. No one cares. But you have Pink Diamond Glenn from Glenn Robinson from the draft. Pink Diamond Devin Booker from getting the 6 rings in limited, which my point on limited that I'll say really quickly is I know that getting rings was very RNG heavy last year, or I guess in this current year. I would like to see it be more like Weekend League, where what you're getting at a certain number of wins. Like maybe keep it random, but guarantee it where at 15 wins or 10 wins over the weekend, you get a ring. So you're not spending all weekend crossing your fingers that you're going to get a ring after a win. And then you have Pink Diamond Wilt for going unlimited in the top tier, I guess. Sorry, for going undefeated in the top tier of unlimited, which I think that's going to be difficult AF. And then you have the Mellow for hitting level 40. So what are your thoughts on season 1, Harry?
I don't want to go back into it, but like I said before, not the biggest fan of these high-level rewards being in the game. But I think it's cool that there's so much to grind this year. It seems like they didn't even go into Domination Rewards, and we know Domination's back. So now we got Domination to grind. We got the draft to grind to get the Pink Diamond. We have a unlimited grind to get that Wilt, the seasonal grind to get Carmelo, and I'm sure there's even more than I'm forgetting. There is so much to grind, and I think this is one of the first years where it's not the same generic, I'm going to grind Domination. There's so many. Maybe I'll grind the draft. Like, there's so many cool things that you can try to work towards day one or even throughout the entire season because every 6 weeks it's going to be updated. So I think this will be a great year in terms of always having content to grind.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I don't think I can say it any better. I mean, I guess my only closing thought is going to be that this blog has definitely made me a little more eager to play my team. I am like you, Harry, where, my judgment's going to be reserved until the game comes out and we give the game a chance to breathe. But I think going in, this is kind of the most excited I've been to play my team, kind of like, I guess, in the last 5 years. There's a lot of potential with game modes like the draft, but there are some things that I don't like that you also don't like. Contracts coming back. You're starting off with players that are going to be 96 rated that you can get as rewards. But I still think it's going to be a really fun game mode potentially this year.
Yeah, but however, to end it on a more of a positive note with the higher rewards, I will say the unlimited grind is a grind. Not everyone is going to have that Wilt. I think the draft reward will be easier to get, especially because no contracts. It'll be a more chill game. Not everyone's gonna grind domination. Not everyone's gonna put in the hard work for all these game modes. So at least if they are gonna give higher rewards, which they are, I do appreciate that they're making this a grind. Not everyone will start out with these cards. And
Absolutely.
that's it. I'm excited for my team. I think even talking about it with you has, brought out an even more excitement. I'm happy that you're excited. Even
Yeah,
just
man.
knowing that you're playing the game is just a cool thing because you haven't really grinded a 2K full year since 2K17, and even
Yeah.
then you didn't play the full year because you kind of dropped off and got bored or
Yeah.
disinterested.
Mhm.
So I think it's gonna be awesome. I hope 2K doesn't let us down with content. But I think I think just having a seasonal thing where every 6 weeks it's gonna get updated no matter what. I think it's just a great reminder for them to know that there's no falling off. There's no not leaving us hanging. They gotta update it. So I'm excited for the rewards. I'm excited to play, and yeah, I'm ready for 2K22.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that we can get content out with, with Harry and Deuces and maybe even Shiz, who knows. But we'll be getting some My Team content out on YouTube. Maybe have a couple of streams coming back here and there. You never know. So, we'll plug all that stuff down below. I'll also plug Harry's Twitter in the description. Harry, thank you very much for freeing up an hour of your time. This was a lot of fun and super efficient. I think we got all that in an hour. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's an honor to be on here. I've never done a podcast before, so I hope I don't ruin your career in the second podcast. But I really did. I had a great time. I was looking forward to talking to you about all this new stuff. So to do it on a YouTube platform is even more cool. So I'm really excited. I know you're excited, and I guess that's all there is.
Yeah, very well said. Well, thank you guys for listening, and until next time, whenever that is. Peace out.